Hey guys, what's going on? Stormrider36 here, and today we're back with another Overwatch gameplay commentary, but this one's a little bit different. It's a little bit new to me, very easily new to me. But what I've decided to do today is I've actually decided to do a top 5. Now this is a random top 5 out of nowhere, but you know, I've been playing a lot of this game lately, and I wanted to make a top 5 favorite Pokemon list. And, you know, I'm a huge Pokemon fan, even though it's not something I put up on my channel, because, well, the way I play Pokemon, I don't have a way to record it. I play it on DS, so, you know, you need a capture card specific for that, and I don't have one. And I don't know how to do the ROM thing, and you know, my girlfriend's trying to help me, because she is a Pokemon Shiny streamer, EV197, if you cared to know. But, anyway, regardless, this has nothing to do with that, but it's, you know, going to be my top 5 favorite Pokemon, and it's going to be really fun for me to just talk about why I like them and, you know, the reasoning behind it, why I picked them out of the 700 plus Pokemon that exist now. And it's going to be a fun time. So, let's get started. Alright, at number 5 we have the legendary dog Suicune. Now, the reason Suicune is one of my favorite Pokemon is just because of, well, one, his sprite, his character model, the way he looks. I love it. You know, some people actually hate on the fact that his tails are like ribbons and that he has weird purple flowing hair. I actually quite enjoy the way he looks. He looks like a water, you know, beast. He looks like he belongs in the water, is controlling of water. He just looks that way. Just like I believe Entei and Raikou, the other ones that pair with him, look the same, like, in my opinion. So I love all the dogs, but Suicune is definitely my favorite, and definitely has to make this list because when I use him, I just love him. And I'm that asshole that uses the bulky Suicune if you're a battler, you know what I mean? Where his defenses are super high and he just sits there and doesn't die, and I love it so much. I use him in Pokken Tournament, you know, if he was in Smash Bros, I would use him there. Just because, you know, he's so versatile and he's a water type, and you guys are going to see a recurring theme throughout this top 5, and it's the fact that I love water types. Water is my favorite typing, so you guys are definitely going to see that. But Suicune definitely had to make this list because I've adored Suicune for so long. And, you know, some people get mad because he's a legendary. He's not a top tier legendary, and even if he was, I'd still like him. Like, it's not like it would change my thoughts. I still love him. He's still an amazing Pokemon, and he just had to make the list at number 5. Alright, at the number 4 spot we have Swampert. Now, Swampert has both a use reason that I love him, and actually a nostalgic reason why I love him. Now, I'm going to do the nostalgic reason first. Ruby was the first ever game I was old enough to really understand. I had Pokemon Red, I had Pokemon Crystal and Gold, and, you know, I played them, but I was too young to really realize, you know, the story behind them and how to actually play them properly. I just kind of went through, rushed through, and had my sister, who also played at the time, you know, tell me where to go, tell me what to do, and I would just catch random Pokemon, only use my starter, and just, you know, struggle my way through the game. But then came along Ruby, where I found Swampert, and he was just my match. I loved using Swampert, and the fact that he would, you know, take out Team Magma easily. He countered Team Magma from the start was amazing to me. He paired well with the Legendary just because of the fact that, you know, Groudon covered Electric, Groudon covered, you know, I always taught him Solar Beam because he had Drought, so Groudon covered, you know, other water types for me. He covered, you know, a lot, and then he had fire type moves, which covered grass, which was Swampert's one weakness, so they always paired well together. I always used the both of them. Groudon didn't make this list, of course, but Swampert did, because I literally used Swampert on almost every single playthrough of Ruby and Omega Ruby in the new games. And that's just because of the fact that, you know, he has always been my favorite, and he is an amazing Pokemon. Being water ground, he's very versatile. He can only be hit super effectively by grass. You can make him bulky, you can make him like offensive, and he will wreck stuff. And now that he is a Mega, I was so happy to see him get a Mega. Not too big of a fan of the Mega's design, but you know, the Mega itself in battle is, oh man, it is great. I love it. Swampert absolutely had to be on this list. It kind of pains me to put him at 4, but the three above him definitely are a lot higher, are definitely a lot more favored than he is, but I still love him. I'm not a super gentle. Alright, at number 3 we have the legendary bird Articuno. Now, this is actually kind of a weird pick. You don't really see Articuno on too many people's lists that I've seen anyway, but I love Articuno. Not just because Articuno looks absolutely beautiful, the sprite in every single game is amazing. The cry, Articuno's cry is so good. It's tranquil, but at the same time, you can hear the power behind it. It's really, just look at the design. Got the 3 feathers, the beautiful tail. The tail is one of the best parts for me. And, ever since I saw the movie Pokemon 2000, I saw Articuno fly around with the little sparkles. I assumed at the time was like snowish because it's an ice type. It just made me love that Pokemon even more, and I've always loved the anime, so Ice Beam is always a sick move in the anime because it's literally like blue electric type attack, but then it freezes the ground that it touches, and the Pokemon it touches. It's amazing, it's awesome. And Articuno is an amazing Pokemon. Like, Ice type is such an underused and underwhelming type, let's be honest, because it's very weak to a lot of things, but if you have a good Ice type, you can wreck shop, and there's a lot of other good Ice types, probably better than Articuno, but Articuno holds something in my heart because I would always use Articuno in Fire Red and Leaf Green and back in Red because of Lance, the Dragon Trainer, and the Elite Four, because I could never beat his Dragonites with anything except for Articuno, because at the time, I didn't really know better. When Red was out, I didn't know, type advantages. I didn't really know anything. I just knew that Articuno could beat the Dragonites, so I would just use Articuno. Then when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, I figured out it was Ice typing, not Articuno. But I still used Articuno because I just love Articuno. So it was already a match made in heaven, and I was already obsessed. So it was too late for any other Ice type. Besides Lapras, I don't use Lapras. But Articuno's better than Lapras. Just so you know. Alright, at the number 2 spot we have, surprisingly not like a well-known Pokemon, Golurk. Not a lot of people like Golurk, whether it be because, his ground ghost typing doesn't give him any, real immunities from either side's weaknesses, or because he's found so late in the game that you already have a full team in Black and White, or Black 2 and White 2, and you just didn't care that when you found him. But Golurk, to me, is a fucking awesome looking Pokemon. Only problem I have is the bandage looking thing on the front of him, but he's got a crack. What are you gonna do? You gotta cover that up somehow. But look at him. He's a giant golem who's a ghost type. That thing's a ghost. There's a spirit or some shit in there. I don't know what else to say. It looks like a giant pillar just came to life and was like, boom, I'm gonna punch the shit out of you. Look at those giant ass fists. He's going to knock the shit out of you. Rocky would be scared of this man. Pokemon, not a man. And look at that. Look at that little skirt. That's the skirt of power. Look at those legs, those defined legs. A little bit more work out in the knees, but it's okay. Kind of funny how his biceps are tiny as shit, but he doesn't need them. He just got giant ass fists, and the fact that he gets Iron Fist, the ability that makes it so when you punch people, it does more damage. That just makes him more badass. Because then he just literally punches everything to kill it. He doesn't need to do anything else. And then when he needs to use Earthquake, he probably punches the ground. I mean, I would believe that. This thing is huge. The picture doesn't do him justice. This man is huge. And the fact that he can fly on top of that just takes the cake for me. It's over there. The fact that, so for those of you that don't know, his hands and his legs will go back up inside of his body, and flames will come out of those areas, and he can fly. What the fuck? He can fly. Are you kidding me? He can learn fly. He punches the shit out of stuff. He's massive. He's a ground type. I don't know why, but I think ground types are cool. He's a ghost type, so he's gonna be punching the shit out of Gengars, because Gengar is another ghost type, but it hurts him. Alakazam ain't got shit on him, but he does. I know. I already know. Don't worry. I'm just saying. Golurk is the coolest ghost type. I apologize if you don't agree with me, because you probably don't, because not a lot of people like Golurk, but I love Golurk. and that's why he absolutely had to be number 2. He was very close to number 1, but number 1 has way too much meaning to me for me not to pick as number 1. Alright, you guys, one last thing before I announce my number 1 and the video is pretty much over. Thank you guys for watching this video this far. Thank you guys so much for supporting this type of video. I was very nervous to post it, but very excited to make it because Pokemon is way out of my channel's realm. I'm not a Pokemon YouTuber by any means. Will I ever be? I don't know. I really don't. I really enjoy playing Pokemon. I love it so much, but at the same time, if I'll ever record it, that's still to be seen because I have no motivation to record it. I just play it on my own time. But, let me know what you guys, let me know what your top 5s are in the comments. Let me know if you guys like any of my top 5 picks. I really am genuinely curious. Some of you may like Pokemon that I would have never even imagined, and that would be fucking awesome because those Pokemon don't get any love, obviously, if I don't even imagine people liking them. And I'm not gonna lie, when I say that, this kind of Garbodor comes to mind. The garbage one. Alright, from 5th gen. No one likes that Pokemon. Someone probably does, actually. But I want to know who that is. I want to know who you are. And I want to shake your hand because you like a Pokemon no one else likes. And that's awesome. But let's get into number 1. This Pokemon is so iconic. Everyone knows who it is. But I bet it's not something you actually would have assumed. Well, actually, I can't really say that. Maybe you would. I don't know. We'll find out. Alright, and at the number 1 slot for my favorite Pokemon of all time, out of all 700 plus Pokemon, all 6 generations of Pokemon, my favorite Pokemon is Gyarados. Why is it Gyarados? Out of all the Pokemon I could have possibly picked, from the strongest Pokemon, Arceus, to, the most iconic Pokemon of Pikachu, to, one of the most iconic starters, I guess, Charizard, to, one of the Pokemon that people in competitive see all the time and everybody loves, and that's like Talonflame or something. But no, mine's Gyarados. But why is it Gyarados? Ever since I was little, I enjoyed the serpent snake-like Pokemon. Onix is an honorable mention. He didn't make this list because, let's face it, his stats are very, very bad. He has less attack than Oddish. Okay, Onix, you need to step up your game. You're a giant rock lizard. And Steelix the same way. He would have made this list, but I can only pick 5, so Steelix is probably 6. I would probably include Onix and Steelix in the same thing because their stats aren't the absolute best. Steelix, of course, has got high defense and shit, but, everything else is down there. But Gyarados, back to Gyarados, because he's the star of the show. He's my favorite. Why is he my favorite? Because in the anime, Magikarp, when the Magikarp went up the waterfall to evolve into a Gyarados and attacked Team Rocket, that was when I knew Gyarados was a fucking badass. He's absolutely one of the most badass Pokemon. He evolves from Magikarp. Magikarp can't do jack shit. It can flail, it can tackle, it can splash. That's it. No TMs, nothing. Till level 20. I would grind out Gyarados in the original game so often because I thought it was the coolest Pokemon to ever see. And I was always upset when your rival had a Gyarados in the Elite Four because I was like, no, you don't deserve it. That's mine. No. Did he have one? I know Lance had one. I feel like he had one. But, whenever someone else had a Gyarados is for strong trainers like me. You don't deserve it. And he's so fucking cool looking. Look at him. He's the freaking Loch Ness monster, for God's sake. He's huge. He's like, 20-something feet long or something like that? He's got that giant ass mouth. What that mouth do, bro? He has, he's in the water. It's fucking scary. Like, if this thing was in the water in real life, that'd be fucking scary. He can move on land. You see that in the anime. He can actually maneuver himself on land pretty well. He learns Hyper Beam by level 1, Hydro Pump by level 1. I think in the newer games, because it measures all the blue type, it's Crunch, Ice Fang, Dragon Dance. Dragon Dance. One of the best moves in the game for setting up Dragon Dance. He gets it just by level 1, just because he's that cool. He gets it. He gets Hyper Beam because he's that cool. He doesn't give a shit. you gotta think about it this way. He comes from nothing. He is literally an underdog. He comes from the weakest Pokemon, rivaled by Feebas now, but from the weakest Pokemon ever in existence. Is where Gyarados comes from, to become one of the best Pokemon in one of the highest tiers of competitive battle, one of the highest tiers of any sort of list. If you make a list of water types, Gyarados has to be on there because he's one, an original Pokemon, two, just one of the strongest Pokemon in existence, and three, he's just so hard to, lock down. If he sets up a Dragon Dance, he's faster than most of the things in your team. If he's defensive, he's just gonna sit there. You're not gonna be able to kill him in one shot. He's only weak to electric and rock because of the fact that he is water flying. Which the flying part I never really understood, but I'm not really gonna complain considering he's a fucking dope dragon, water dragon looking thing. I love it. But he is just so cool, and in every anime, you see people riding these Gyarados, and I wanted to be that guy so badly. I wanted to be that trainer, to be able to ride a Gyarados, sit there in the water, and just blast Hyper Beam to anything that wanted to follow me. That would have been amazing. And the shiny version of Gyarados, everyone hates on it, because everyone could have gotten it in second generation. I personally love it. The fact that he turns red. Because of the fact that he's known to go on rampages and destroy everything. Red fits him perfectly. Like, it doesn't even matter. Of course, when he Mega Evolves, he looks like a Jumbo Shrimp. But I don't care. My love for him goes deeper than the Jumbo Shrimp. Alright? He could have been a freaking, cut up lobster on a plate when he Mega Evolved, and I would still love this Pokemon to death. Just because of the fact that I use him in almost every playthrough I play in any Pokemon game. If I don't use him, he was a strong contender. I was going to use him, and I found out something else was in the game, and I was like, okay, that fits like team, then I'm building better. The only game I don't use him in is Ruby, because I use Swampert. And, two water types on the same team, not probably the best idea. But, anyway, Gyarados is my absolute favorite Pokemon of all time. He's badass. He's sick. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a different type of video from my channel. I kind of went out there to do it, but it was so much fun to just go over all my favorite Pokemon and be like, okay, these are the 5 that I call my absolute favorite. And you know what? I stand by all of them. And the honorable mentions, I already said, Onix and Steelix are 2 of them. I want to say Landorus is another one, because Landorus is just cool looking. Let's face some facts. Dialga and Zekrom are also 2. I didn't want to put like high-ranking legendaries on them, because that's kind of like, well, duh, they destroy everything. They're mythical Pokemon, and they're supposed to be awesome, so of course you will. I didn't really want to put them in this list, but they don't match up and stuff. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your top 5 in the comments, like I said before. I really want to know. This has been Stormrider 36.